Recently, I was in conversation with another guitar player that I just met, and when he asked me what kind of guitars I had, I started rattling off the different brands. I got Schecter, I got Ibanez, I got a couple of Gibson SGs and some other Gibsons. And before I could go on, he rolls his eyes and says, "Oh my God, Gibson SGs are the worst. I hate them with a passion. If I had them, I'd use them as firewood." Okay. "Why do you hate them so much?" I asked. He says, "Neck dive and tuning stability. They won't stay in tune for 30 seconds, let alone a whole song. And the neck dive is so bad that you really can't even focus on playing. You spend so much time holding the neck of the guitar up." And then he said the only two guitars worth owning were a PRS Custom 24, which he had, and his other guitar, which was some Norwegian or Swedish thing he had imported, 8-string fan fret multi-scale beast of some sort. And he said that the Schecters, Ibanez, Gibsons, those are all for amateurs and wannabes. Really, amateurs and wannabes. So I thanked him for imparting the wisdom that he had accumulated in his massive, almost 4 years of playing, and extricated myself from the conversation. Now, everybody's entitled to their opinion. You know what? I don't care how he feels about it, but, you know, there's a couple guys out there that I think have done okay for themselves using SGs. First guy that comes to mind, of course, is Angus Young from AC/DC. Then the next one would probably be Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath. Of course, we got Derek Trucks. He always uses an SG. There's Tom York of Radiohead fame. Frank Zappa used SGs. Pete Townsend used an SG for a long time. Even Jimi Hendrix used an SG on occasion, and that's just naming a few. I mean, there's a bunch of other ones out there. I think Duane Allman played an SG. Eric Clapton had his guitar that they nicknamed the Fool, which was a Les Paul branded SG, but it was still an SG. The list goes on and on and on. I don't think any of those guys would be considered amateurs or wannabes, and I think they've done okay for themselves playing SGs. Not sure any of them would want to use their SG as a piece of firewood. Anyway, not long after that conversation, I sat in with a band here locally, and I used their guitar player's SG. I only played one song with them, but the guitar stayed in tune for the whole song. Didn't have any trouble in spite of my bombastic playing style, and I didn't notice any neck dive. I've had my SGs for a really long time, and for many years they were my main performing guitar. But I'll admit that was a long time ago. It was so long ago I still had hair. And memories are a funny thing. Sometimes you don't remember things accurately. And I don't know, did I learn to cope with the neck dive and it just became so second nature that I don't even really remember doing it? I don't know. So I decided maybe the smart thing to do is grab my SGs, throw a strap on them, put them on, and see how bad the neck dive is. And I decided that maybe you guys want to see how bad it is too, because after my conversation with this guy, I looked online, and I've seen people out there, they do videos on how to put some funky hook on your strap and hook it under your belt so that the guitar won't do the neck dive thing, and other things, weird ways of coping with neck dive on SGs. I want to see how bad it is. So I've got two SGs. We're going to put both of them on and see how bad the neck dive is on each of them. All right, for the first neck dive test, we're going to use my early 70s SG Deluxe. This is a Deluxe, not a standard. We're going to see what happens. I've had this guy for many, many years. The only thing that's been done to it is strap locks. And the buttons are in the exact same position as the factory strap buttons. Let's see if I can do this without stepping on my cat. All right, are we ready? And what? Nothing, except for messing up my t-shirt. All right, let's try again. I don't know, it doesn't look like any neck dive to me. Let's try it with the 69 SG Junior and see what we get. Just like the Deluxe, the only thing that's been done to this 1969 SG Junior is strap locks. And again, the strap buttons are in the exact same place, as is my cat. And as you can see, we've got no neck dive. So this is why I guess I never thought neck dive was a thing on SGs. Do you own an SG? If you own an SG and you've got neck dive issues with it, put a comment down below. Tell me what year it is, what model it is, and maybe we can figure out why there is this reputation for SGs to have neck dive. Just for grins, I decided to try one of my Schecters out and see what happens with that. A little bit, but I'm jumping around quite a bit here. And the other big difference is this is a nylon strap. Now when I'm just standing here, there's no neck dive. But when I jump around, it does move a little bit. I did that. It does move a little bit when I'm jumping around. And really, I don't know if the leather strap has something to do with that on the Gibsons, and the nylon strap has something to do with it on this guitar. Maybe we'll try an experiment. All right, so we're back with the SG Junior. The only thing I've done is put the nylon strap on it. Let's see if we get any neck dive now. I let go of it, nothing happens. So we get a little bit with the nylon strap, but nothing that I would call drastic. I mean, this would not, under normal circumstances playing, this would not bother me at all. I don't know, is that why I've never experienced neck dive on my SGs? Because I've always used leather straps with them? I don't know. Leave your comments down below. All right, now we're going to use my old Warhorse Ibanez. Yeah, I know it doesn't say Ibanez on the headstock, but it is. It's an Ibanez RG. It also has a nylon strap, and I have used this guy a lot. As you can see, no neck dive when I do that. That's a lot of jumping around, and it moved a tiny little bit, but not much. So I'm going to say probably this guy is the best balanced guitar that I've got. I don't know. I might have to do some more experiments with some of the other guitars just to see which ones I get neck dive with. I know if I don't move the strap button on my Schecter V's, neck dive is definitely an issue with that. But once I move the strap button, it's fine. This is a very well balanced guitar, no doubt. Even with the nylon strap, it doesn't move much. All right, well, rather than subject you guys to me jumping around like a fool with all my guitars on, let me just tell you about this one. This is a Gibson RD Standard. This guy is 1977, I think, is the first year they came out with them, and this one is 77 Standard. And I liked it because it was this weird body shape, somewhat reminiscent of a Firebird. I mean, it's got that weird squished kind of Firebirdish type shape, but not exactly. I liked it. I was afraid neck dive was going to be an issue with it. It's not. This guitar is actually kind of on the heavy side, and I don't know if the weight has something to do with it not neck diving. And I've got a nylon strap. I've been jumping around with nylon straps for the most part to see if that's a factor. And some of the guitars, I get a little neck dive. Doesn't matter what the brand is. I get a little bit of neck dive with nylon straps. And actually this one and my Ibanez seem to be the best balanced out of the whole bunch. I've got Les Pauls, I've got the SGs, I've got Flying V's from a couple different manufacturers, I've got a Strat-like guitar, And most of them, if I jump around, I can get a little bit of neck dive out of them. I put the leather strap on and it stops on virtually all of them. So leather straps might be a solution for some of you guys. I was in a band with some guys that could not stand leather straps. They complained they were too hot. They tear up your shirts. So if you're wearing something that you plan on wearing to your cousin's wedding or something, you don't want a leather strap chewing that up, right? So anyway, that's my experiments with Gibson SG neck dive. Like I said before, it's never really been an issue for me, and I'd like to hear your stories. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what your experience has been, and maybe if some of you guys are willing to try a leather strap, try a leather strap and see if that changes it. I don't know. Might be worth a shot. I can't remember. Did I say I was going to talk about the tuning stability issues earlier in the video? I think I did. The super short version is that I never had trouble with tuning stability on any of my Gibsons. Most Gibsons are kind of notorious for having some stability issues. That's worthy of an entire video of its own. There's probably a bunch of other guys out there that have done better videos on it already. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do one about what I did in detail. But the short version is that I always used a lubricant on the bridge saddles and on the nut. I also made sure I had fresh strings. And as long as I did that, tuning was generally not an issue with any of my guitars. If you want to see a video on that, let me know in the comments down below. So I think that's all I've got for today. Until next time, live well and rock hard.